Hey everyone, so today we're going to go over how to add monomials. So the first thing that we need to know is what like terms are. So we know what terms are based on the definition from before. They could be numbers, variables, or numbers times variables. But like terms are terms that contain the same variable and the same exponent. So for example, here is a table and each column represents different like terms. If you take a look at this first column, we have 5, -2, 1,000, and -54.8. None of these have variables, so they are considered like terms. So if it doesn't have a variable, it's like terms. Now the next column, we have 3y to the third, -8y to the third, 1/4 y to the third, and -704.5y to the third. So they each have y to the third, so that makes them like terms. You can tell that the numbers in front don't matter. Some are fractions, some are decimals, some are positive, some are negative. But as long as they have that same variable with the same exponent, it's considered a like term. Now the third column, we have 2a squared, b to the third, -17a squared, b to the third, 5/3a squared, b to the third, and then 90.6a squared, b to the third. Same thing, the numbers in front don't matter. Some can be fractions, decimals, positive, negative, but as long as they have the same variable with the same exponent. So this means also the same combination of variables and exponents. So no variables, these are like terms. One variable with the same exponent, and then two variables with the same exponents. So they need to have the 2 next to the a, the 3 next to the b, and they're considered like terms. So when we add monomials meaning one term, you're going to add the coefficients. So just a refresher, a coefficient is the number in front of the variable, and leave the exponents alone. So we're going to leave those little tiny numbers next to the variables, we're going to leave them alone. So you have to remember the rules for adding integers. So if they're the same signs, you add and keep. So add them and keep the sign the same. Different signs, subtract, keep the sign of the larger number. So let's take a look at some examples. So here we have 3x plus 5x. First thing I want to ask myself, are they like terms? They have the same variable with the same exponent. So yes, they are like terms. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to group the coefficients together. So we have 3 plus 5, and I'm going to put the x on the outside. So I just took my coefficients, I'm going to add them in this set of parentheses and just put that next to the x. I'm not doing anything with the x, it stays the same. Now 3 plus 5 we know is 8, bring down your x, and that's your answer. So 3x plus 5x is 8x. Let's take a look at example number 2. We have -2y to the third plus 2y squared plus 6y squared. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my coefficients, put them in parentheses and add those. And I'm going to leave my variable and my exponent alone. I'm not going to add these 2's. I'm going to leave that 2 alone. I'm going to add these exponents. So different signs you subtract. So 6 minus 2 is 4. And you keep the sign of the larger number. The larger number here is 6, so it's positive. So this is +4. And I'm going to bring down that y squared. And that's the answer here. So just add the coefficients, leave the variable and the exponent alone. Let's take a look at 2 more examples. So here we have 10r squared s plus -16r squared s. I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to take my numbers in front, my coefficients, and then I'm going to leave my variable and the exponents alone. Remember, they have to have the same variable and exponents or else you cannot add them together. Now, different signs we subtract. 16 minus 10 gives me 6. Keep the sign of the larger number. The larger number here is 16, so it's going to be -6. Bring down your variable. And the exponent. Don't add the exponents here. And last one, we have -t to the third plus -9t to the third. If you remember, there's that invisible 1 right there. So I'm going to take my coefficients, put them in my parentheses, put my variable on the outside. Now I have -9 plus -1. same signs, add and keep the sign. So 1 plus 9 is 10, keep the sign the same, so it's going to be negative. Bring down your t to the third power. Do not add those exponents. And that's it.